Hey Keith, you there?
Hey, yeah.
What's going on?
How much are you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Sorry to keep you in the waiting room. I had the host set on my computer. I'm not on my TV.
Okay, that's not a problem.
All right, cool. I got some music on because we're going to be doing yoga. You're the only one that's on so far. So I'm going to give it a couple minutes.
That's
And
fine.
then if nobody's on here in like 2 or 3 minutes, we'll just get started. And I'm happy to give you a private class.
Okay.
Will you be turning your camera on? You're more than welcome to keep it off. Just curious.
No, I don't know why my Zoom isn't allowing me to turn on my camera
That's cool.
unless
I
I
know
have
you're
to
here.
back in.
All right, sounds good, man. Yeah, like I said, 2 or 3 more minutes. We'll see if anybody else is going to jump on, and then I'll jump into the class. We're going to do like 20 minutes of a pretty simple, easy vinyasa flow. I didn't want to make it too complicated, so I'm not sure what everybody's level is. And then, I put some talking points together about recovery.
Okay.
So, yeah, we'll chat a little bit about that. Hopefully you learned something today. How have you been?
Pretty good. Pretty good. So, I think everything's going pretty. I mean, for the most part, pretty good.
Okay.
There's only just like I had a little, like my shoulder worked out, but other than that, yeah.
All right, good. I'm glad things are going well.
Yeah.
It's 5 after. I'm going to give 1 more minute and we're going to get started.
Okay.
We have a guest star today. She's only doing the endo, where we meditate.
And who is this?
She's only doing Shavasana. This is Bella.
Bella?
Say hi, Bella. Yeah. So she had surgery.
She's the one. Okay.
Yeah. So right here on this leg, she had her ACL done.
Uh-huh.
She's not really supposed to be on the couch, but she's pretty good. This is really cute watch.
For sure.
He wants more. But she's pretty good. She stays where she is, so she's gonna hang out there.
Nice.
And hopefully she tries to, when I'm doing yoga, sometimes she tries to do it with me. We'll see what happens. All right, let's get moving. So you're participating, yes?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, cool. So yeah, as I said, we're gonna do a quick 20-minute vinyasa flow. We're gonna do a short warm-up. I've got some basic vinyasa movements in the middle, and then we'll do a cool down and a little shavasana, and then we'll jump in to a little education. So we're gonna start just by sitting down on our mats. You can sit towards the back, and you can cross your legs any way that you want. If this is more comfortable for you, keep your legs crossed like normal. We can do a little bit of a yoga sit too if you'd like. If you have that flexibility available to you, you can put your foot up on your calf, okay? So, hands flat on the knees or palms up, depending on how you're feeling today. There's your camera.
There it is. Let's see if I can
That's
get
good. I don't feel like I'm alone.
There you go. If I can get a spot here.
You can hear me, yes? Well?
Yes.
Okay, good. I wanted to put a little music on because I like doing yoga to music. All right, so sitting on your mat, we're going to close our eyes. And you're just going to set an intention for your practice. So that means that you're just going to, give yourself a reason for being on the mat today. And as you're doing that, you're going to take some deep breaths. So we're going to breathe in for a 4 count. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then a big exhale. 2 down. Exhale. Good. So do that 3 more times. Inhale for 3, 2, 1, and then big, strong breath out. Good. Give me 2 more of those. Keep your eyes closed and just start to really focus on the way that your body feels. Exhale. And then 1 more very big, deep breath in. This time, really expand your chest as much as possible. And then let it all out. So the purpose of that breath is just to kind of relax the body so that you can be a little more limber, a little more fluid in the movements. All right? So we're going to come onto our hands and knees now, and we're going to warm up in cat-cow. So in the center of your mat, you're going to bring your knees directly under your hips and your hands directly on your shoulders so that you have a good support system. And we're going to do simple cat-cow to start. So you're going to inhale as you look up at this ceiling, arching your spine to exhale and looking far back at your toes. So take this nice and slow and really feel the stretch in your spine. Inhale to lift up, look up at the ceiling. Always go to the point, exhale, where it feels good. You feel like you have a stretch, but you're avoiding pain. All right, inhale to lift. Try to get a little bigger each time. And then exhale, push towards the ceiling. So now you can keep this like this, or you can start to add a little bit of movement. So going around in a circle is one of my favorite ones. We call this a dancing lion. And when you move around in a circle, you start to hit a couple more joints that you might not be hitting. Just doing the cat-cow, like your wrist, your knees, letting your spine move in a different direction. If you are doing circles, go back in the other direction. Good. And keep going. I'm just going to give you a few more ideas. You can move front to back. You can move side to side, whatever feels good. We'll only be here for about 3 more breaths. We got 2 left. And then your final one. Good. All right, come back to a neutral spine for a moment. Now, I want you to take your hands and put your fingertips away from your body. So you're pointing to the left and the right. Now, you're just going to rock side to side, just very lightly, so you feel a little bit of a stretch in your wrist. And I'm probably going to repeat this a lot, but you want to go to the point of stretch but not pain. All right? And I know a lot of us really like to push through the pain sometimes, but this is about regeneration and recovery. So we're not trying to really push our limits too much in this class. We're just trying to give our body what it needs to move tomorrow. Feel like you're going to sleep well tonight to get the blood flowing. If you have the ability, point the hands backwards. And if you can't make it all the way back, that's fine. But point those fingers towards your toes. And this is a much smaller movement. Just dip your hips back about 1 inch. And you're going to feel a big stretch there in your wrists. And you do that like 3 times. Don't forget, keep breathing. Nice controlled breath in and out. All right, great. So put those hands forward. And we're going to come into our first plank of the day. So again, hands are directly into the shoulders. When you're in a yoga plank, you want to push your shoulder blades apart. So you're creating space in your back. Take 2 deep breaths here, keeping your belly button drawn into your spine. And then drive your hips up to the ceiling for our first down dog of the day. All right, in your down dog, we're going to be here for about 5 breaths. You can stay in a regular down dog, heels off the ground. If you want to walk the dog a little bit by pushing your heels down and giving your hamstrings a little bit of a stretch, you have that option as well. If you want to take it a level above that, you can push both heels to the ground at the same time. Maybe we're skipping the dog instead of walking the dog. Good, give me 1 more breath right here. And then we'll go into our first flow, and that'll end our warm-up. So meet you back in your regular down dog, and you're going to push in to a child's pose. So bring it down to your knees, point your toes behind your body. Bring your glutes all the way down to your heels as far as you can. And then tent your fingertips, right? So like you're trying to grab the mat with your fingertips and walk them forward just 1 inch or 2 without letting your hips come off your feet. You're going to feel a nice big stretch in your lats here. You're going to have that temptation of wanting to lift your butt up, but do your best to keep it down as far as you can. All right, hands flat on the mat. You're going to slowly walk your hands to the left. Probably 2 or 3 steps. You're going to take your right hand and put it on top of your left hand. And then you're going to look under your right armpit and take a big deep breath. And at this point, I hope you wore deodorant today. Or not, whatever you like. All right, let's bring it back over to the other side. 2 or 3 steps to the right. Take your left hand on top of the right hand. Bring your nose to that left armpit. And then take a big deep breath in and out. Good. Walk back to center. Let's come back up into our plank position. All right, so we're going to bring our booty back up, bring us into downward dog. Now we're going to do our first standing position. What we're going to do is we're either going to walk or step towards the front of the mat, okay? Or jump, excuse me. So look forward towards the front of the mat, and you can take small steps forward, or you can jump forward into your feet between your hands, and then you're going to take a big deep breath and come into mountain pose. Nice and tall, fingertips together. Good. Exhale as you forward fold. Inhale, bring it to a flat back. Exhale, forward fold again. Grab your calves. And then inhale, come back up to mountain pose. Now, since we're here, let's open up and give a goal pose. Give a nice stretch to the shoulders and the chest. Back up to mountain pose, forward fold. Exhale. Good. Inhale, flat back. And then exhale, forward fold. Grab those calves. Let's place your hands on the ground in front of your feet. And then you can either walk or jump back into your plank position. We're going to do our first vinyasa of the day. So you're going to inhale. Exhale as you lower it into your low plank. Now you can bring it all the way to the ground and do a half cobra. Or you have the option of flipping your toes and pushing all the way up and extending your elbows into full cobra. Flip those toes under, drive back into downward dog and extend. Good. Hang out here for just a minute. How are you doing?
Good.
Good, good. All right, so let's do that flow one more time, okay? So we're gonna come back into that plank pose. Inhale, exhale. Inhale as you come back down to the ground. Exhale as you come up. And then flip those toes forward, back into your downward dog. All right, so take that right foot up towards the ceiling. Send those toes far away from your body. And then you're gonna take your right foot, step it to the outside of your right hand. So in yoga, we call this our masculine side. We always start with the right. From here, with a straight leg in the back, you're gonna come up into a high lunge. You have two options. You can come straight up into your lunge, or you can step yourself up using your knee if you need a little bit more balance. Arms up over the head. So check in with your body here. Make sure your knee is slightly forward over the toes. Your leg in the back is as straight as you can possibly make it. And then you're gonna twist into warrior two. Yes, you got it. So make sure you take a look at that back foot. The toes should be slightly inwards towards your spine. Your knees directly over your toes, nice and tall. Let's flip the arms up so the palms are facing the ceiling and then stretch forward. Good. Now we're gonna reverse the warrior and bring that hand over the head. Place your hand either above your knee or below your knee, depending on your flexibility. And then you're gonna make a big circle down to the ground and give me a vinyasa. So you've got an option here of putting both feet on the ground. If you wanna take it to the next level, keep the right foot in the air. Exhale to the bottom. Inhale to lift. And then exhale back into your down dog. Both feet on the floor. Woo. All right, take a deep breath here, in and out. And let's do the left side. Bring that left foot up towards the ceiling. And then take a step to the outside of the left foot. This is the feminine side. We always do this second. So repeat what you did on the first side. If you stepped up slowly by putting your hand on your knee, repeat that. If not, you can always stand up straight tall and go right into that high lunge. Let's bring it into our warrior two. Check in with your back foot. Bring those toes in towards your midline. Flip the palms up, reach forward. And then reverse your warrior. All right, great. Let's rainbow it down to the floor. Hand on the outside of the foot. You have the option of keeping the left foot in the air. Exhale as you go down. Inhale to lift. Exhale back into downward dog. Let's stay here and walk the dog a little bit. And then let's bring it down into child's pose. You always have the option to come here if you need to give yourself a little bit of a break. Good. Take about 3 big deep breaths here. And then we'll go into our next challenge. All right, come back into that plank pose. Downward dog, meet me here. You're gonna take that right foot up towards the ceiling. And then I want you to bend that right knee. Bring it over your left leg, open up your side body on the right side. Now, if you're advanced enough, you can flip the dog and reach towards the ceiling. If not, just stay where you are. Either is fine. We always go based on the way that our body feels. All right, good. Bring that heel up towards the ceiling again. Now I want you to take that right leg and touch your right elbow. Right leg to the ceiling. Now touch your left elbow. Right leg to the ceiling. And then let's bring it back down to the ground. Good. Hang here for 2 breaths, and you can either do this or child's pose. Whatever your body is asking you to do at the moment, go ahead and listen to it. Okay. All right, great. Let's take that left foot up. You're going to bend that leg Open up your side body on the left. And if you flip the dog on the other side, you're going to flip the dog again. All right, bring that left foot back to the ceiling. Bring that left knee to the left elbow. Very nice. Drive up again. Three-legged dog to the right elbow. Twist. Three-legged dog. Good. And then we're going to bring it down to the ground. Come on down to a child's pose and take 2 deep breaths. Sit here with your head on the floor for a moment and just collect yourself. Hopefully the heart rate's up a little bit. Great. All right. So let's come on over to our glutes. So we're going to sit with our feet together, toes towards the front of the mat, and we're going to do a forward stretch. So arms up to the ceiling, and then exhale as you come forward and give yourself a big stretch. Now, some of us will be able to make it to the toes. Some of us will only be able to make it to the calves. You do whatever your body is capable of, because you got to listen to your body. And eventually, if we keep doing this, you're going to get to the point where you can reach farther and farther while keeping those knees bent on the ground. If you need to micro bend your knees, that's okay as well. Take 2 more deep breaths here. And while you're here in the forward stretch, get comfortable with the difficulty in breathing, right? We're creating less space for us to take in oxygen, and that makes a lot of us nervous, right? So it's kind of like mind over body. You know that you can get air. You know that you can breathe. It's just a little bit more difficult than it normally is. All right, sit up nice and tall. We're gonna take that right foot flat on the ground. Take your left elbow to the outside of the right knee. Place your hand behind your right glute and give yourself a spinal twist. 2 deep breaths here. Good. Come to the other side, so straighten out that right leg, left leg up, and then give yourself a little spinal twist, taking that right elbow out of the left to the outside of the left elbow to the outside of the right knee, excuse me. All right. Feet flat on the floor, hands behind the knees. You're gonna slowly lower yourself back down into the mat. So we're gonna start out with simple bridge. So what I want you to do is I want you to peel your vertebrae off the ground one at a time as you bring your glutes into the sky and squeeze your glutes as high as you can. So now you have the option to hold it here, or when you get more advanced, you can go into a full wheel. That means you put your hands behind your knee, your leg, woo, I slipped. Hands behind your head, and then push up. Now this is an advanced move. If you're not ready for it yet, just stay in your hip bridge. 3 deep breaths right here. Good. Slowly lower yourself back down to the mat, whichever position that you're in. And then take your hands behind your knees and rock into seated position. All right, so last thing that we're gonna do here is Shavasana, all right? So take a deep breath, bring yourself back down to the mat, lay completely flat. Point your palms towards the ceiling, close your eyes, and let your entire body melt into the mat, all right? So your elbows, your shoulders, think about your lower back pushing into the floor beneath you. Your glutes are nice and relaxed on the ground. Think about your calves melting into the ground and then your heels. So everything is connected to the earth at this point. Now I want you to just stay here, remind yourself of what your intention was, and just breathe. I'm gonna leave you here for 2 to 3 minutes, and then I'll be back with you when it's time to end the session.
When you come into my mind, I lose track of the time. And I dream a dream of you running into my arms. The sun is waiting for the moon, like I wait all day for you. When I see your eyes full of stars, I know this is the best part. 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 Oh, oh, when you do to my heart. This is the best part. 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 Oh, oh, when you do to my heart.
All right, start to slowly come out of your trance. Let your eyes open. And then bring yourself into the fetal position. I want you to go to the right side. In the fetal position here, you're just going to pause for a moment, let your head rest. Take another breath or two. Now use your left hand to push yourself up off the mat. And then come into that same seated position we started in. Now, if you were just sitting regular, like kindergarten class, this is totally fine. You can go back to the same position you were in before if you had your leg up, or you can try to bring the other foot up so that we can create a little bit of balance. And then we're going to put our hands here. And just for a moment, I want you to give thanks that you're able to do this, right? You're able to have these moments, you're able to practice yoga, you're able to work out, you're able to watch what you eat. You have all of this opportunity in front of you. So just be thankful for everything that we have the ability to do every single day, because not everyone has what we have. And it's a wonderful thing for us to have all of this. Let's take your hands together and put your fingers up on your third eye. Bow your head. Take another deep breath and just feel that energy in your third eye. Good. Thank you very much for joining me for this today, Keith. That wasn't too bad, I think, for being rusty.
Oh,
I don't think I've taught a yoga class definitely since I moved to New York. It's probably been like 2 years.
really?
Yeah. Yeah. I actually said to my husband today while I was practicing, he was texting me, and I was like, I think I need to find a class. I love what I do, but I sit at my desk all day now, you know?
Yeah.
I used to jump around 20, 25 classes a week, which also isn't healthy. You know, there's a balance that I need to find, but I'm going to go back to my computer. All right, so give me a second.
Yep.
And then, you know, I want to go through the discussion that I put together today if you're willing to hang out. All right, cool. Give me just a moment. Can you hear me, Keith?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I have to change something because I can't hear you. Perfect. Okay, awesome. Again, thank you very much for joining me. You know, I thought it was really good to do a yoga class and then have a discussion about why we do things like that, you know?
Yeah.
So today's discussion is about recovery and regeneration. And the whole point of this is to help, you know, my clients and anybody else who watches this to understand the importance of recovery and to recognize the signs that their body gives them and how to implement effective strategies for optimal performance, fat loss, and overall health. So the first thing I want to talk about is recognizing recovery cues, because I think this is something that a lot of us ignore, or we just don't know what those cues are, right? So the body is going to give signals when it needs recovery. Ignoring them can lead to injury, fatigue, or stalled progress, which I think is something that most of us have experienced at some point in our lives. Overtraining really increases cortisol, right? If you don't give yourself enough recovery. And this is a stress hormone that can lead to muscle breakdown, poor sleep, and cravings. So, if you are in a fat loss phase, it can be really detrimental to your progress. So there's a few signs that you can look for that indicate that you need more recovery. The first one is like increased resting heart rate. So if you are monitoring your resting heart rate and you do see that it's going up and you are feeling tired all the time, then it is a possibility that you could be overtraining. Now, that's not necessarily the only possibility, but these are things that you can look for. That and persistent muscle soreness. Now, it's okay to be sore after a workout, but if it lasts more than 48 hours, then that is a good indication that you might be pushing it a little bit too hard or working out a little bit too often. Trouble sleeping, waking up groggy, increased hunger and cravings, as I mentioned before. And then everybody's least favorite one, decreased motivation to work out, right? We put in all this effort, we put in all these workouts, and then we just don't want to do it anymore because it's destroying our bodies. So that's why the recovery is just so important. So the next thing I want to talk about, or the first thing I want to talk about as far as recovery is concerned, is sleep. All right, because I think that's the one that everybody thinks about the most. And you've probably heard me say it a million times. You need to get between 7 and 9 hours of sleep a night in order to get that recovery. And we need to do this because the muscle repair, the hormone regulation, and also the cognitive function, they all rely on quality sleep. And in order to get quality sleep, you need to get into those deep sleep cycles because that's what triggers the hormone release. And these hormones are essential for muscle repair and fat metabolism. So the goals here are to aim for 7 to 9 hours a night, be consistent at bedtime. And I will fully admit that I am not really good at that one. During the week, we're good. We go to bed at like 11:30, 12 o'clock, but we still like to pretend we're young and go out on the weekends. So we really mess with it on the weekends. And I'm telling you, when Monday comes around, I can really feel that my circadian rhythm is off. And that really does help regulate your hormone balance. So getting that 7 to 9 hours of sleep, having consistent bedtime, this is a really difficult one for a lot of people as well. And I've talked to people in their feedback all the time about this, reducing your screen time before bed. That blue light, the white light from the TV, it suppresses melatonin, and it actually creates more cortisone release in your body. So basically your body thinks it's daytime, with all of these blue lights and white lights. So it makes it extremely difficult to get quality sleep if you're on your phone right when you get into bed. And I've been really bad about that lately too. So I think this lesson is as much for me today as it is for everyone else. I've been checking emails and like turning the lights off. I'm like, I have to stop doing that. Another thing, and I don't really talk about this too often, but magnesium supplementation may help relax muscles and improve sleep as well. My husband actually just started getting into supplementing with magnesium, and he's seen a lot of improvements in his sleep because of it. So it's something to keep in mind if you're struggling with getting quality sleep at night. So, we just did yoga, all right? So yoga and stretching and mobility and recovery all linked together, right? This helps reduce muscle tightness and improve circulation. It lowers stress levels, all right? And stretching activates what's called the parasympathetic nervous system, which promotes relaxation, and it lowers cortisol, which is what we were just talking about before. So there's so many things that can help you get into a relaxation state so that you can get into a better state of recovery. So the best practices here are dynamic stretching. These are before your workouts. These are movement-based. So I hope that you've noticed that the warm-ups that we have in the app are all movement-based, right? We're not sitting there doing static stretching. We're moving the way our body wants to move during the workout, but without any weight. The reason we do that is because static stretching after workouts is an effective way to release the muscle fibers, right? But if we stretch on a cold muscle, it's just like lifting on a cold muscle. So you want to try to avoid that at the beginning of your workout. And when you are doing your stretching at the end of the workout, your static stretches, you want to hold them for at least 20 to 60 seconds because it releases what's called the Golgi apparatus. Have you ever heard of the band Fish?
Yeah, I have.
Have you heard the song Golgi apparatus?
I don't think so.
I was like a huge Fish
But
head for many years, so like I know all the songs. But it's so funny because I wasn't into fitness then. I had no idea what it meant. They're
uh-huh.
literally talking about the Golgi apparatus. I didn't get they just like the word. But what it is the thing that prevents your muscle from overexpanding, right? So basically, it's designed to prevent your muscles from stretching so that you don't injure yourself and you don't get pulled. So in order to help that release, you got to hold it for between 20 and 60 seconds. And then, of course, incorporating yoga or two times a week for flexibility, breath control, and of course, stress reduction. You have any questions on any of this so far?
No, I mean, I usually stretch morning when I wake up, and then at least after my workouts, just to
Yeah.
so I'm not so sore the next day.
Yeah. And that's absolutely why you should be doing it too, because if you leave those muscles all tightened up, then you're going to feel a lot more sore than if you give it a little bit of recovery at the end of your workout.
Yeah.
So in addition to stretching and sleep and yoga, hydration, right? People don't really look at this as a recovery tool. It's overlooked, right? We know we have to drink water, but we don't really link the two together. I haven't seen, a lot of people talk about this when they're talking about fitness plans, but every cell, muscle, and organ requires water to function properly, including for digestion, circulation, and temperature regulation. And dehydration reduces muscle endurance and increases perceived fatigue. So even like 2% dehydration can impair your performance. So the best practices here, and again, I'm probably preaching to the choir, 6 pints of water a day. Everybody's heard me say that a million times. That's about 3 liters. But if you're sweating a lot, if maybe you're doing a lot of cardio or it's really hot outside, it's okay to drink a little bit more as well, because you're probably sweating out a lot more hydration than you would normally, like today when it's 12 degrees outside, which is not my favorite day on earth. Electrolytes. I talk about this in all of our onboarding calls. Sodium, potassium, magnesium, they support hydration and muscle function. It really helps you absorb the water that you're putting into your body so that your body actually has the chance to use it to help you in this recovery process. So if you're looking at your urine and it's dark yellow, and I'm not talking about coming home from the club because maybe that's a different story, but drink more water, all right? We want to aim for a light straw color in your pee. So we don't want it to be, too clear either. And then you want to hydrate before you're thirsty. This is something that I don't think a lot of people think about either. So like drink water before you go to the gym, right? Drink water before you go outside, before you go to the beach when it's hot out. Thirst is already a sign that you're dehydrated, right? So if you're feeling like your mouth is dry, then you've already gone past that point. So, trying to be a little preemptive there is going to be a lot healthier. Meditation and stress management for faster recovery. Chronic stress levels, cortisol, right? There's the word again. It elevates cortisol. It can inhibit muscle recovery, and it can actually lead to fat retention as well. So, cortisol, yes, it keeps me awake. I got to get off my phone at night, blah, 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 all that good stuff, right? But if you really want it to sink in, I know most of my clients are here for fat loss. It can really inhibit fat loss, all right? If your stress levels are really high. And managing stress is like one of the hardest things that any of us do, right? So meditation and mindfulness actually really helps, again, the parasympathetic nervous system, all right? It reduces stress and improves focus. It's not just meditation though, breathing exercises. We have those in the app and they're there for a reason, right? If you're watching this after the fact and you haven't tried the breathing exercises, give it a try. They are really, really great for bringing down stress levels. I have generalized anxiety disorder, I think they call it. I was diagnosed finally. And meditation works a little bit. The breathing exercises work a lot better because it's intense, and when you're done with that intense breathing exercise, everything else just kind of like feels like it settles inside of you. It's kind of cool. Yeah. So I try to do at least one of those every day. But that's in addition to doing mindfulness and meditation, focusing on the present moment, and then progressive muscle relaxation too. Have you ever heard of that before?
I haven't.
So that's tensing your muscles and then letting go.
Okay.
Yeah, tensing your muscles like really, and then letting go. And you can do it with your entire body all at once. Sometimes when I teach yoga, I'll have everybody like tense up really, 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 really hard and then go into Shavasana because it's a nice way to relax your entire body. We didn't do that today. But yeah, if you do that tense and relax muscles, it releases so much tension in your body. So if you've ever done that, give it a try.
Okay.
Especially if you're feeling stressed out, or if you're in an argument with somebody and you're trying to calm down, it actually really works.
Okay.
Post-workout nutrition. All right. So I want to preface what I'm about to talk about with, this is important, but it's not the most important thing if you're getting the proper diet. Okay. So that means, if you're fueling your body throughout the day and you're eating frequent meals, then you probably don't need to worry about timing things too much. But if you want to get specific about it and you really want to be as efficient as possible with your recoveries, your body needs fuel to repair your muscles, right? And we also need to replenish our glycogen stores after training. So drinking 20 to 40 grams of, eating 20 to 40 grams of protein. I say drinking because I'm always doing a shake after. After your workouts, this is going to support muscle protein synthesis. Carbohydrates post-workouts, they're really important as well because of those glycogen stores that we just talked about. So if you want to replenish your energy, you want to replenish your carbohydrates as well. I hope that most of the people or all of the people in my program are not afraid of carbohydrates, like we've been taught over the years since probably like the 70s, Our body needs all of the major macronutrients. So carbohydrates are good. They just have to be good carbohydrates. Electrolytes, again. So hydration to support cellular recovery and prevent cramping. Electrolytes are good to drink, any time of the day, but really, really effective after a workout as well. It's good to have a post-workout meal within 30 to 90 minutes. All right. So if you're really looking to optimize your nutrition, 30 to 90 minutes is the optimal window to eat. And then, protein and carb, that combination is really good for muscle recovery. So you don't have to think like, oh, I have to go cook a big meal now or something like that. It can be as simple as like Greek yogurt and bananas, eggs and oatmeal, protein shakes and fruit, simple things like that. That last one, I live off protein shakes and fruit sometimes. When I'm busy,
Yeah.
So, the last one, one of the last ones that I want to talk about is active recovery versus complete rest days. All right. So resting doesn't mean that you're doing nothing. Active recovery can improve circulation. It can reduce soreness. Light movement can increase blood flow and deliver oxygen and nutrients to sore muscles. So it can help you repair faster. So active recovery includes things like light walks, yoga, mobility drills, all on rest days. Foam rolling, which we do have a foam rolling program in the app. And, again, if you're watching this after the fact and you haven't tried the foam rolling yet, I recommend doing it either before, after your workout, or on your days off. All right. It can be done anytime. I don't think you can really foam roll too much. It's called self-myofascial release, and it breaks up like muscle adhesions. All right. Basically, and it was described to me when I actually first became a coach. You think of your connective tissue like spaghetti strands, and they look like this. And when you foam roll it, they look like this. And then they move with each other more efficiently. Right. And then there are days that you're going to need complete rest and not active recovery. So if you're feeling extremely fatigued or you're sick, take a rest day. The sick thing is important. Don't work out if you're getting sick. If you feel yourself getting sick and you work out, you're going to lower your immune system. Wait until you're on the upswing. You can still be sick on the upswing, right? And still go work out because your body's already in the process of, recovery. But if you feel yourself getting sick and you go to the gym, you're probably going to get a lot sicker than you would have if you just took that rest day that your body needed. Okay. Last topic is supplements that support recovery. So, whole foods always come first, always. We want to eat as many whole, nutrient-dense, nutritious foods as possible, but certain supplements can help you optimize your recovery. So we have whey or plant-based proteins, depending on whether you eat meat or not. All right, this can support your muscle repair. Creatine monohydrate. All right, this is usually generally considered pretty safe for everybody because it's something that your body makes anyway. But of course, before trying any supplement, you should talk to your doctor. I'm never going to recommend anything to anyone unless they get clearance from their doctor. But this helps increase strength and it does help reduce muscle soreness as well. Omega-3s, another thing that we talk about in our onboarding call. All right, fish oil. If you're a vegetarian, it can be algae-based. This reduces inflammation and joint pain. We have a lot more omega-6s in our bodies, which are inflammatory than we do omega-3s. The omega-6s are important as well, but we need to try to start to balance those omega-6s out a little bit more because, the modern diet, unfortunately, just doesn't have enough anti-inflammatory in it. And you can get this by eating fish too. Remember, whole foods come first. And then there's magnesium again. All right. We talked about this when we were talking about sleep. It really supports muscle relaxation and sleep quality. So basically, the final takeaways from this are just listening to your body's recovery cues. Pain and fatigue are signs. It's not a weakness. A lot of people think if they're in pain or they're tired, that, oh, maybe I'm just not good at this, right? No, that's just your body telling you that you need recovery. And if you recover, you're going to get better. Prioritizing sleep, hydration, and stress management is going to help you perform optimally. Fueling properly with whole foods and post-workout nutrition, using active recovery and stretching to prevent injury. And then recovery, it isn't doing nothing. It's actively supporting your body. So you're the only one here, so I guess you have to answer the question. So what do you feel like is one recovery habit that you want to improve upon over the next month? I know we went over a lot. It's a tough one.
I know. Well, I would probably say do more supplements. Because I don't take oil, because for some reason I just don't like that fishy taste.
Yeah, some of them can give you that burp, the fish burps. Yeah. So there are other options, like flax seeds have omega-3s in them. Like I said, they have algae pills that might be better for you, the blue algae. But they do make pills, like I take Nature's Made off of Amazon, and I found that one doesn't give me the burp taste. I take it every morning. So that may work for you if you want to give that one a shot. But let me just make sure I'm getting the name right. Yeah, algae based. All right. So you can look for those probably on Amazon. That's where we buy everything now, right?
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. So that's it. If you're not taking an anti-inflammatory, once you get into it and you start taking it over a short period of time, you're going to hopefully notice that, your joints feel better when you're not quite as sore in the joints when you're done with your workouts or when you're in your recovery phase.
Okay.
Cool.
Yeah, because I do my Legion whey protein drink after my workouts once I get home.
Okay.
So I guess that would be a question. You said 30 to 90 minutes after the workout is when you need to do some sort of a protein carbohydrate intake.
You got it.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. And again, that's optimal, right? If you don't hit it one day or it's just not possible, it's not the end of the world. As long as you're eating what you're supposed to be eating off the blueprint, you're really going to be fine. But as you know, in the blueprint, there's multiple meals, right? And there's snacks, because you want to try to spread out your nutrition throughout the day, which is also going to help prevent blood sugar spikes as well.
Okay. Perfect. Let's see what else. I think, like I said, I do my stretching daily. I don't know if, well, that's a whole nother conversation about my history. But so that actually helps me with certain issues. So
okay, good.
Yeah.
All right, awesome. Well, I hope that everything was helpful today and you liked the class and you got something out of this.
Absolutely. I haven't I've done yoga like once on the app.
Okay.
But in a class setting, it's a little bit more.
It's a little bit more exciting. I was hoping there was like 15 people like last time, but I think, you know what? I think last time they weren't obligated to do a class. I'm trying new things out with these Fit Focus forums. So I'll probably teach another class again in the future. Like I said, I miss it. But next time I'll make it just informational, and I'll see if more people show up and don't obligate them to do any work. That might have been part of the issue today.
Right. I like to work out. I like the group. I call it group therapy.
Yeah, well, it's good to also have the interaction with the other people in the class or the coach, rather than just watching a video. There are definitely positives to it. And, I love the online thing, and I enjoyed teaching online, but teaching in a classroom setting, just the energy that you get in that classroom setting with everybody there and doing the same thing and everybody being in unison. I don't know, it creates the energy that's just kind of unmatched. As I said earlier, I was mentioning my husband, and I'm like, I realized today, putting this together, that I'm missing something that's important to me, So,
but I'm fighting with it because, you know, I get to go anywhere I want, whenever I want. You know, I don't have to be on someone's class schedule. So we'll see. I have a lot to think about when, you know, deciding whether I want to do another class or not. Quite honestly, it would probably be cycling. Yeah, I love cycling. I'm a master educator for Stages Indoor Cycling. Yeah, I don't know if you've ever heard of them before, but they have them at like equinoxes and lifetimes, and I think Crunch has them as well. They're a great company. I think, you know, I haven't presented for them since right after the pandemic. Unfortunately, I think they shut their education program down after the pandemic just because, you know, we couldn't travel around. You know, they took that job away from me, unfortunately, during the pandemic because, you know, obviously we couldn't fly. And then we started doing it online, and it just wasn't the same.
Yeah.
You know.
Absolutely.
Yeah.